And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to WrestlePurists Worldwide. Monty, I saw that. I didn't realize I was muted. I looked up, I saw it, and I'm like reaching for it, but like it's already like awkwardly long. You know what I mean? That 2 seconds are like the longest.
It feels like forever, bro. Especially when you're pulling up late like we are after, bro.
Oh my god.
Me and Ibu just
we were crashing out. Listen, folks, we're 5.5 minutes in, so I could say this. Fuck StreamYard, man. They totally hoed us. We were ready to go like 20 minutes ago, it felt like, and this fucking thing. I'm in StreamYard, like, can you hear me? You're like, no, can you hear me? No, I can't hear you. And we're doing this over and over and over again. And then we got to switch YouTube links. And then we got to now we have to screenshot everybody's super chats so that it's not money laundering and people's money doesn't go. But I mean,
we could have carnied it, but
we could have said, hey, send it again. You know what I mean? But that would have been terrible. That would have been fucking horrible. Folks, we're fucking live. It's WrestlePurists Worldwide. It's gonna have to be an even more abbreviated show because I do have to watch Raw because I have to review that now on Fightful. If it wasn't for Fightful, we'd just bleed into Raw and be like, who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? But is what it is. We got about let's see here, 70 minutes. We'll do our best.
Man, we can do our thing.
We'll be fine. WrestlePurists Worldwide. We're going to talk about Ring of Honor Final Battle. We're going to talk about Collision in Hammerstein Ballroom. Fallout from Ibu versus Bloodline Twitter.
You had a wild day.
Yeah, Mats. You know,
not always, bro. I wake up and I see, and iBeast is
trending number 2 on the United States. He was the number 2 trend in the United States. Monty, at 3 a.m, there were 1,800 people listening to that space.
I know, bro. I listened to some of it back, not the whole thing, because that's so petty to get me. But
absolutely,
I listened to a lot of it back, and like you said, bro, we're gonna talk about some Fallout.
Talk about some Fallout, and because I feel bad for you guys, I feel bad that the show started late and there was all these issues and difficulties. I'm glad a lot of you guys are still able to make it over here. You guys are able to switch channels, so to speak. So I'll give you a little something. You know, I was just gonna talk Hammerstein, but maybe I give you guys some WrestleMania tidbits. You know, I can't say too much. I'll
remember as well this week.
What's up? Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot the Kevin Owens one. I gave it to them the next day, so it's fine. But yeah, today I'll give you guys a Mania thing. Nothing. We'll see how I'll be able to relay this information because I signed a blood oath, Monty, regarding some Mania stuff.
Hey yo,
I did. I signed a blood oath. So if I outright state certain matches, like my hand will explode. You know, but I can lead you guys certain paths. You know, I can spell out the math for you and let you do the rest and figure it out. But we'll talk about that. We'll talk about ROH. We'll talk about Collision, and we'll try to have some fun here with this time. So this is what we'll do. Guys, if you sent the super chat in the previous link, we have retained those super chats and we will read those out. And Monty, I want us to read those out first, just to get them out the way. We will read those out, but also, folks, you can still send super chats in this YouTube link. So feel free to like the video. If you haven't liked the video, please send us super chats because, again, you guys guide the stream. You guys can ask us whatever you want to ask us. I will do my best to be as transparent as possible with these answers. And I will say I have been very much working the phones, Monty, over the last few days between both WWE and AEW with regards to immediate creative plans and future creative plans. So ask away, and I will do my best to give you guys the best possible answers. So get to that right now. And Monty, let's take it away with the super chats from the Lost Island of the previous.
The lost tape.
The lost tape. Let's take it away.
10-second stream, you know. All right, so obviously I'm reading these off my phone. Let's put some screenshots. Jan Theodore, $2 Canadian, appreciate you. iBeast, quote, other bloodline stands pale in comparison. I mean,
he's different.
He's different.
He worked people and think he was crying. He was like, it's not a joke, man. Man, you don't understand, man. Like, bro, Roman Reigns, yeah. Roman comes out here and he puts that one up, man, and it just makes me emotional. But oh my god, man, oh my god, he's just crying, and I was like, what is going on here? And I'm like, wait, he's working.
People are falling for it. Like, legitimately. Some people are doing it ironically, like, yo, let him cook, man.
He's a force.
Some people are like, yeah, this guy is lost plot, you know. He's a interesting fella, you know. He was making some comparisons, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That's the next super chat, actually. David Camp, £4.99. Appreciate you. The iBeast /Roman/Hitler/Aura chat on Ibu Space is the most I've laughed all year. I've listened to the clip a few times and die every time.
Oh, it's
the people context, Ibu.
Yeah, so
just in case.
All right, so just in case, and I'm willing to reckon that 89% of the people in here have listened to at least parts of that space. But
yes, I am, to be honest.
But because I felt like all of wrestling Twitter was listening to this fucking thing for some reason. But iBeast was just talking about aura from Bad People and compared Romans to Hitler's, which was very odd. He does make sure 2 minutes into this explanation to explain his stance on Hitler, which is that he's bad. So I'm glad he clarified this. I'm glad he clarified that Hitler.
Make sure everyone knows that.
Like, Hitler bad, by the way. It's like, thank you for clarifying this, iBeast. But yeah, like, thank you for making that known, iBeast. But yeah, quite the deal there. I gotta say, quite the deal there. But I don't know what to make of that guy. I'll say this: there's a reason why he is the leader of Bloodline Twitter.
No, yeah, 100%.
We've heard how a lot of these other Bloodline Twitter, Monty, on that night, we heard how a lot of these other niggas sound, you know, and they didn't send their best, you know.
So. Hey, bro, listen though, when we had iBeast on that episode of Worldwide, he was listen, man, he's grown a lot as a performer. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
he's came a long way, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, iBeast is just different, bro. He's different. His commitment, almost gotta respect it, but you can't respect it because look at some of the things he says, you know. He's just different, man. But a funny guy though, and you know, there's definitely weirder people out there. You know what I mean? All right. So yeah, appreciate you, David. Meanwhile, Gonzalez 999. Kakoshe in the ballroom is a vibe. Going to the MSG show this week if y'all want fan cam of Punk versus Kaiser. Hit Mazel. Brett Lauderdale, please leave alone. I just wanted a dog with ketchup only, not propaganda flyers. Layers there, meanwhile. Layers, bro.
Yeah, no, it is a truth. Look, if you run into Brett Lauderdale, he's gonna give you a GCW flyer. I
respect that.
I have seen Brett Lauderdale around like 5 steps away and said, let me just turn around. But I will be going to his GCW show. Unfortunately, folks, AEW is in my backyard and I missed all 3 shows. I missed Final Battle, which
I'll tweet realizing like, oh, wait.
They have never done a 4 p.m. taping ever in the history of the promotion. So like, I'm thinking, all right, you know, I'm already planning out. All right, I'll leave the house at 6. I'll get to New York at 7. I'll be settled in 8 o'clock. They'll start the Dynamite taping. I'm cool. And mind you, here's what makes this whole thing ass, Monty. I miss ROH. I'm like, I gotta work. Saturday, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just do my job. I'm not gonna call out. I'll go to Dynamite on Sunday. I'll have a nice Sunday and I'll watch Dynamite. You know what I mean? It comes Sunday. I hit up AEW. They're unable to give me any comp tickets because guess what, Monty? They had 20 guest seats for the day, and all of them went to Hook's friends and family. And so they were yes, I'm dead serious. They were like, look, man, Hook took up all the guests. I was like, wait, what? And they say, yeah, look, Hook's friends and family have
Hook, Taz, the boys, the
yeah,
nephews,
like,
the uncles.
and I'm like, what? And they say, I mean, you could come in and stand if you want. So I go to my brother. I'm like, you want to stand? And he's like, where we're standing. And so I'm like, man, fuck this. You know what I do, Monty? I said, you know what? I'll buy tickets. So I spent $147 on 2 tickets in Hammerstein. Shitty seats, but I just wanted to be in the building because truthfully, when you're in a small venue, it doesn't really matter where you sit. In all honesty, you could be up high and you could see the ring, right? So I was like, all right, I don't give a fuck. I buy 2 tickets, $147, right? And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go take a nap and then we'll be chilling, right? I get about 40 minutes into this nap. I get woken up by a phone notification. I look at my phone, and you know what it was, Monty? Murph posts his view from his seats, and I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, what's he doing in the building so early? And so I tweet. I'm like, hey guys, when does this Dynamite taping start? For context, Monty, it was 3:20 p.m. my time when I find this out, and people are like, oh yeah, it starts at 4. And I'm like, what the fuck? What? Huh? I'm like, yeah, it starts 4. And so I'm like, wait. Because for Monty, it takes me an hour to get to New York. So I'm like, hold on. AEW usually starts out with some ROH bullshit, you know, some maybe Rampage taping and then Dynamite. So I'm like, no, we good. We're good. They'll do that bullshit. I'll make it in time. They'll start at 5. I'll make it right around 5. We're good, right? And so I double check. I call someone who works in AEW, right? I ring his phone up. He says he won't get back to you. I hop in the shower. Mid-shower, Monty, my phone rings. I reach my hand up. Hello, on speaker. What's up, man? I'm like, hey, when does this Dynamite taping start? He goes, 4 o'clock. I said, no, the actual Dynamite part. He goes, 4 o'clock. I'm like, why? What are you guys doing? And then I say, what's the card order? Is Ospreay at least the main event? Because I'm thinking maybe I could just make it for Ospreay. He goes, oh no, that's the opener, him and Brody. And I'm like, bro. So then it gets worse, Monty. It gets worse. I call Ticketmaster.
You've already missed it.
I call Ticketmaster and I'm like, hey man, personal things.
Oh yeah, that's bro. That was.
Can I get a refund? And they were like, no. They said, hey, what's your order number? I gave it to them. What's your account number? Blah blah blah. Right? And they go, hey, we have your order up. We were willing. They basically were saying we're about to give you a refund, but you bought this from a secondary market. You're gonna have to call StubHub. I'm like, fuck. I call StubHub. This Asian man picks up and he's just like, hello. I explain the whole situation to him. And he basically like, yeah, that's tough, bro. I don't know what to tell you. You're going to have to try to sell the tickets or some shit, right? So here's the thing, Monty. I'm thinking tickets are sold out in Hammerstein. Maybe I could get some guy out the arena that wants to buy this shit, right? But here's the problem, Monty. I'm trying to sell tickets to an event that's starting in 5 minutes. Nobody buys it. I'm down $147 right now. And I missed Dynamite. So I see all this.
TK. Do the right thing, man.
Tony.
Do the right thing.
Venmo me. Zell me, Tony. Fuck. Hey, I missed AEW in Hammerstein.
Hook. Do the right thing.
This is Hook's fault. This is Hook's fault. Oh my God. So I say all this to say I'm going to make up for it. I'm going to be in the building in Hammerstein for GCW.
Yeah. Anyway, next super chat. Anjam PN $2. Appreciate it as always, folks. I think the shooter stocks are back up. Yeah, I think they've been slowly rising for like the past couple of weeks, and I've hardly been paying attention. I just kind of got a few friends that I trust the reactions of, you know, and yeah, man. I feel like ever since it became like quite clear that like, you know, they're doing like Shooter and Zach at the Dome, that, you know, they've kind of they've leaned into how it hasn't worked out for him, you know, and yeah, apparently his performances are getting back up there again, and he's starting to look like the humano that people were very optimistic about, you know, like what, 2 years ago now. So yeah, man, good for him.
Yeah, I'm happy for him. He's back on steroids, which is always a nice, beautiful thing you want to see amongst young wrestlers in their 20s. It's something you always need. It shows your dedication to the craft. I heard Monty, he had an awesome tag. It was it was Zack Sabre Jr. and Ryohei Oiwa, who's also coming into his own against Ishii and Umino. And AO was posting the clips, and it looked awesome. It looked fucking awesome. There's nothing better than a hot Korakuen Hall match. Korakuen Hall, when it's like a really, really like above 4-star match, something about it is just beautiful to me. So I'm gonna give that a watch. I'm gonna give that a watch today or tomorrow, and we'll see how that goes. I actually didn't watch last night, Monty. I was supposed to watch Final Battle, and I ultimately did not watch it at that time because my brother was watching Starrcade 85, and he had been watching every TV building to this, and it really opens your eyes. I don't know why I'm making this aside, but I'm gonna do it now. Like it's one,
do it.
that's right. TikTok, right? And go to an old show with shitty dubbed music and just watch it out of context, right? It's another thing to watch all the TVs leading to it and the angles and the interviews. Bill Apter's showing up to fucking interview Ric Flair and shit. And you get all that type of stuff and you see the angles and everything, right? It's another thing to watch all that and then watch the show in full. My brother found it on Archive because Peacock had dubbed music. So he's like, nah, fuck that. Let's see what's the difference on Archive. We go to Archive, Monty. Raging Bull Manny Fernandez is coming out to Beat It by Michael Jackson. Dusty Rhodes is coming out to licensed music. Everybody's coming out to like awesome licensed music. It was a tremendous experience. So I watched that, and I watched 2 Noah shows from the mid-2000s. And among the matches I saw, Monty, were Takeshi Morishima versus Kensuke Sasaki, which was beautiful. And I also watched Kenta face Kenta Kobashi. So I had me a nice little marathon of pro wrestling last night. If anyone cares enough, I'll write extensive reviews of some of those matches if anybody actually cares.
Yeah, bro, people do like that stuff, bro. You know, whether it's Joe reviews like old stuff all the time, bro. If he watches something and he's like, yo, that ruled, and he wants to write about it, he'll write about it. Like, sounds like you've got a little bit of an itch to write about this thing, you know?
That's a bit much.
Just a little bit of an itch, you know what I mean? Like it sounds like you don't need much convincing, you know.
Well, what it is
if you get 5 replies on Twitter saying, yo, Ibu.
The thing is, there's times where I remember a couple months ago, I was watching like 97 New Japan and I was posting about it and it got like 0 engagement, which I'm not an engagement whore, you know, contrary to popular belief, but if no one's fucking reading this, and why am I wasting my breath? I could just keep my thoughts to myself. So
yeah. I'm glad you're you and bro going back and watching some of that good shit.
Well, the thing is, it's only him doing it. But what happened now, Monty, is I walk by him, and you have Magnum TA on the screen, and it's like, man. You gotta just stop where you are. You know what I mean?
You get pulled in, bro. Like
he's coming to promo, and oh my god, I wish I had the quote. It was he said something like, "I left a piece of me in that ring that maybe I'll never get back." And like the way he says it, and he's just like, "Look, if you want something with me, you just sign your name on the dotted line. I'll make you come up next for me, Jack." And he's just talking, and I'm like, "Oh man, this dude's amazing."
Bro, I've been locked in on Bruno, bro. I've been locked in on Bruno Sammartino like the past week or so. Yeah. I love that guy, bro. I swear.
He's just a strong Italian man, you know.
Oh, he's more than that. He's the man, bro. He's like, if I had to give like an honest opinion on where I'd put him on my all-time list, I'd probably, I don't know, to people. You know what it is? Because sometimes you see like random fans, like, and they'll put like Bruno on like their all-time list or stuff like that, and you know they're just going off like, oh, I've seen the stat. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like, I feel like over the past like month or so, like I liked Bruno Sammartino a lot anyway because it's Bruno, bro. You know what I mean? But this past month I've watched so much of him. I feel like I can have like an actual like real opinion on him, you know, and he's hilariously high. Like so, he's one of the greatest, bro. As far as WWE is concerned, he's like right up there. All right, we got more super chats from the fucking phone, bro. This is
let's go through them, man. Let's go through them.
This is So what was we on? Shooter Stocks done that one. All right, Meatwad Gonzalez, $9.99. Appreciate you, brother. Can confirm Jay White got the loudest puff in the ballroom. Fortunately, WrestlePurists propaganda doesn't translate to live audiences. And do people want switch rakes? What does it say?
Probably.
No. You want to use it? He's tried to write switch strokes and he's fucked it up. The people want switch strokes as our world champion. Hashtag I banned Ibu from the ballroom.
You did not, but look, man, if switch strokes is what you're into, man, look, different strokes for different folks, and it's 2024, and we are an open society. That's not really my thing. It's never been my thing, but hey, man, if that's your thing, that's your thing. That's all I could say about that.
Trixie 999. We, as in me and you, boycotting the WWF if Big Bro John's last Mania program is Logan Paul. Also, does Punk and John plan on working each other in 2025? Punk's already said he would be happy to. So.
Here we go, folks. Your first scoop. Logan Paul is not John Cena's WrestleMania opponent. I will tell you that John Cena has a bigger match at WrestleMania than Logan Paul. So that's your first little scoop. John Cena and CM Punk, that's not the Mania match, but like you just said, Monty, Punk's public about it. He's totally down to have the match. And I can tell you that it will happen in 2025. So there you go.
It's beautiful. Yeah, the Logan Paul thing, I completely get kind of like how that rumor can develop online. Do you know what I mean? But I think when you actually sit down and think about it, it's like there's no way to do that for John Cena's last Mania. You know?
What's funny about it? Somebody asked me, like, what's your Mania prediction for Cena? I threw out Logan Paul because I was kind of like, I've been communicating with the company, and I was starting to put things together, and I said, okay, mathematically, this means he probably slides into Logan, and I make that tweet, and then immediately, I get a message from WWE, and they're like, no. So I was like, okay, cool. So there you
go. But yeah, Cena, man. Hopefully he's locked in, bro. I'm very much in the same boat as you when it comes to Cena for this last year. I think over the past couple of years, I haven't minded John Cena. Like, the funniest way of saying it is remembering his John Cena. Like, not, you know, he's just kind of happy to be there, smile and wave, you know, and he's just kind of working just whatever matches, you know. He's been doing that the past couple of years, and I haven't really minded it because it's like, oh, it's John, it's nice to see him, whatever, you know. But this last year, because of the way he's approaching it, of having like a proper run, you know, this is my last Mania, this is going to be my last pay-per-view for this one, and this one. He's going to be traveling. He's doing what, like 35, 40 dates. He needs to lock in, bro. Like, we need like Super Cena for a year, you know. Like, that's
my challenge to John is I'm curious to see if he can make me take him serious again, because he's been a parody of himself for a couple of years now. He's been the haha, I'm meta, I'm ironic. LOL, John Cena, silly, right? Just inherently silly. Me and John Cena, you know, ha ha ha. And I'm curious to see if he can like shed that and just be serious again. I think a big part of it, honestly, is him cutting his hair. He's gonna have to cut that Weatherman hair. You're not doing any movies for a year. You can afford to cut your fucking hair. Cut that bullshit off and lock in. So we'll see what happens.
Hopefully. We've got a super chat. I think Vernacular, this is off, but I've cut off the name in my screenshot, so I think it's Vernacular 499. My issue with WWE quote cinema is that it will never be as good as real films and movies. Why downplay in-ring storytelling that has proven effective for decades?
I agree. I think honestly, I think it's just Roman and Paul loving the smell of their own shit, to be honest with you. It's like overdosing on their own supply. Is the best way to put it. Because like, people, they took the cinema stuff seriously, and now they're doing all these fucking pre-taped videos with music and zooming in and shit, and they're just so overproduced. Even the ones that exist, like, you could make those better if you just limited the amount of cuts and the amount of boom every time a guy makes a and all that shit. Like the first one with Cody, where you're hearing like, I am the storm, I am the light, and then it's like, what is this, man? This is so over the top. It's so cheesy. It's so ridiculous. So yeah, man, like, just, I like it when wrestling is wrestling. I like it when pro wrestling is pro wrestling.
Yeah. They're funny though. Anyway.
They are funny.
Theo, $2. Appreciate you. Should heat check and throw up a Live Dom space next? That ain't happening, bro.
No, I'm not doing that.
Black Yakuzu, 94, $10. Dynamite was such a vibe, even if I couldn't see the monitor from my cheap seat until I moved down. No spoilers, but Ospreay is the man over everyone else. The final Rampage was disappointing. That's a shame.
Especially since Rampage randomly got like good again over the last month. Like,
bro, I thought it was a shame from like maybe like a month ago or something, I was thinking like, yo, bro, like I know no one watches Rampage now, but like they're doing a C2 at the moment, so they can throw some matches on that and make people kind of tune in, like if they actually give a fuck, you know. And like you can have like a solid last few, you can have like a solid, you know, last run, you know, with it before it, you know, it ends. And obviously they've put some good matches on it, bro. Like, and the Rampages, they've been getting some good reviews, and it's just like my actual big problem with it is that they should have been promoting like the final Rampage. I think like they should have been promoting it as like a thing, you know, instead of the only thing I've seen from the company is that at the tapings yesterday, like Justin Roberts or whoever said on, or Tony Khan said on the mic, like, "Yo, this is the last Rampage, by the way." And it's like, bro.
They should have done either one of two things. Either a heel group destroys Rampage.
That would have actually been cool, bro. That was when that was pitched like 6 weeks ago. I was like, yeah, do it, because why not?
Because for example, Monty, when ECW on TNN was done, they put the heat on Don Callis. He walked out and he was like, enough, fuck this godforsaken promotion. I've gotten at the best of this fucking network, TNN. I have canceled ECW. This is the final episode of ECW on TNN. And then Heyman runs out. He gets his fucking phone. He smashes it on Don Callis' head. And he was like, we don't give a fuck about TNN. It's a big brawl. Everyone's going crazy. Rhino comes in, gores Paul Heyman. Fucking, they're standing tall. Everyone's throwing garbage at Don Callis. He's middle fingering everybody. So like you could put the heat on somebody, you know what I mean? Or you could do a graceful last episode, or maybe it's like, here are some highlights of the best Rampage matches ever. And there are many great matches in the history of Rampage. You could do that. You maybe have like one or two match. Listen, you do two matches on the show. One match is like a decently length match. The other one is like 26 minutes. Like one last just blow away awesome Rampage match. Well, whoever the fuck you want it to be. And you know, you do that, you do stuff in between, like reminiscing or whatever the fuck. You know, maybe you get one guy cutting a promo. Maybe it's Darby Allin. Maybe Darby Allin comes out and he talks about like,
you get CM Punk to send a video message in.
Oh, listen, DJ can cut a promo and talk about like how he's grown through Rampage and blah 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 blah. How 2025 is going to be my year. How I'm going to do this, that, and the third, whatever the fuck. You know, but you know, Anthony Bones and Jericho. So there you go. But I don't know.
Big Man Dogs in the chat. AEW don't do pageantry. Yeah, it's yeah. I won't say that don't do it completely, but I get what you mean. Next super chat. I think we still got a few of these. Dynamite was a vibe. Adam Legend $2. Ibis Space proves Big Dog fans greater than Bloodline stands.
Real.
Sure. Yeah, sure. Berserk $5. Appreciate it. WWE stands being complacent with mediocre wrestlers, stories, and content is setting us back. Worse is WWE willing to give us bad TV if no one speaks up. I think that's an industry-wide problem.
I mean, I guess, Monty, but like with these niggas, it's just egregious because it's like you step up and you're like, hey, I want better for the fans. And they're like, well, fuck you, man. No, we don't. We don't want better. And it's like, okay. You know, like, fuck. All I said was I'd like Roman to try a little bit harder and produce better work, and people would act like I burned a child, you know. So there you go.
Well, you was crashing out, you know. It wasn't like you was like, "Hey guys," you know. Come on, fam. You was crashing out.
I was keeping it a buck.
He was like, "Expect more from your king."
I wasn't even yelling. I just said, "Hey, man, y'all should demand more out of that nigga."
You was yelling in that space. I wasn't even talking about the space then, but you was yelling in that space.
That's because some guys countered to me, was like, "Oh, you just want your flippy floppy wrestling?" I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? My favorite wrestler of all time is CM Punk. Like, what are you talking about? Flippy shut the fuck up. Learn how to analyze wrestling without bringing up fucking flippiness or AEW, because that's nothing to do with anything. The first guy, Monty, was like, "Oh, well, you know, AEW is a wrestling company. Like, how much money do they make?" I'm like, what does that have to do with Roman Reigns? I just want Roman to be better. What are you talking about?
Yeah, my thing, since like the flippy floppy thing that you just kind of touched on, bro. One thing I've noticed, you see, like when you decide to like go scorched earth, and start like a discourse with like a Roman Reigns take or whatever it may be, something that you know is kind of a hot take or whatever. Yeah.
It's not even
When people jump on you, yeah, and your tweets like go out of our like like the WrestlePurists community circle or whatever you want to call it, yeah. So many people like make wrong assumptions about you when trying to reply to you,
and your
it's
values.
insane. Like you said, the flippy floppy thing. It's like, bro, what are you talking about?
At the fucking beginning, I told him, I said, because he was like, I like stories and characters. I'm like, well, guess what, guy? I love great characters. I like great storylines. They're the backbone of pro wrestling. And guess what? They're not separated from pro wrestling because he tried to act like there were different concepts, pro wrestling and storytelling. Guess what? Pro wrestling is storytelling. They're fucking married and they've always been married, fucking going back decades. That's what the medium is. Just because you have a narrow view of what storytelling is doesn't mean that pro wrestling isn't storytelling. It's the same fucking thing. And guess what? Most wrestling fans like that shit because that's what makes wrestling great. They tell stories in the ring physically. That's what they fucking do. There's different ways to tell a fucking story. It's not just a cinematic segment with bloms and insert songs. You dumb fuck. Holy shit. WWE is from a company standpoint, they love this, right? They love that they've curated this fucking stupid TikTok audience that sees wrestling a certain way and they live for the moments and the this and the that, right? But it's so unfortunate because it's fostered a bunch of niggas that don't know ball, Monty. Niggas that are telling me, well, Steve Austin and Rock weren't great wrestlers. What are you talking about? What are you fucking talking about?
They don't get it,
was fantastic.
That comes up all the time, you know. Like, Austin just did quick kicks and punches. It's like, bro, and that's another thing. Like, these people don't seem to understand is that, like, bro, I don't care. So what if all Austin mainly did was kicks and punches? You can still be a great worker by just doing kicks and punches.
Yes,
I just went on a fucking
Roman is
1
not
minute.
about his moves. Just have better matches. If Roman Reigns had great matches while just doing uppercuts and punches, cool. Fuck.
Literally, bro. Like I was just singing about Bruno Sammartino, bro. That's literally all he did.
Yes. Yes.
Throwing an arm drag every now and again, you get me? But
Monty, I just watched Starrcade 85. You know what every fucking match was, Monty? Punching and bleeding. It's just the entire card. It's just niggas punching and bleeding the whole time. And if Dusty's in the ring, he'll gyrate his legs a little bit. You know, some niggas might throw a chop.
I've been watching because again, Madison Square Garden era. I watched the famous Dusty Billy Graham match again. It's a great match, man.
Bro, and then we're losing the archive, Monty, because it's gonna go up in smoke. It's gonna be more of these fucking stupid people trying to defend Roman Reigns' performances by going, oh, well, what about Rock or Austin? Yeah, what about Rock and Austin? Go back to their fucking pay-per-view catalogs. Go back to 2000. You look at Rock's matches, numerous matches with Triple H that were really good. The fucking Benoit match, the fucking Kurt Angle match at No Mercy, the 6-man Hell in a Cell. All these matches are better than any Roman Reigns match on pay-per-view over the last 2 years outside of his Cody matches by like a decent margin. And then you look at Steve Austin. I mean, my goodness, the Bret Hart stuff, the stuff against The Rock, the stuff against Kurt Angle, the stuff against Mick Foley. What are you niggas talking about? What are you niggas talking about? These guys are sensational wrestlers, and they were sensational at the WWE house style that still exists today. Today. Niggas don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Like you said, it's all that the way that they think all these things are separate things. Like that when people say, "Oh, he's a good worker," these people think that you mean like, "Oh, he does a bunch of flips and suplexes." It's like, no, bro, he's a good worker. Which you know, you can say that about any wrestler in the history of wrestling. You know what I mean?
Oh, well, then go watch your no-selling flippy floppy AEW. What are you talking about? These people are so stupid.
Oh yeah, and Ibu loves AEW people. Don't forget that.
I mean, I like good. I'm a wrestling fan. I like the good stuff in AEW.
No, Ibu, you're an AEW elitist.
Yeah, like that's what these people.
You know, you hate the Bloodline, but you love fucking I don't know, the Outrunners.
Right? Fucking mark. It's so stupid. It's so dumb. It's just so fucking stupid. These people don't know how to argue. You know what the other problem is? They don't even know why they like the thing that they like.
That's the brutal thing, bro. It's like what I tweeted after the space, whenever it was Sunday or whenever it was. It's just like, bro, these people, they're so loud on the timeline, like, oh, Ibu's this, Ibu's that, or the counteract, or even if they're not arguing or being like a prick about it, like they're just like being loud and just like disagreeing with them. He gives them a mic in these spaces, and they never articulate any sort of real point, bro. It's just like they just parrot these dumb phrases like the shit like Ibu was just saying. Do you know what I mean? Like the shit was like, oh, you flippy flop wrestling and your AEW. It's like, no, bro, like these people don't know actually have these people don't know how to actually have like a discussion or a debate, even if it is like arguing. Like they don't even know how to argue. Like
jump to the buzzwords that they hear from their favorite people, accounts, or podcasters. They can't defend why they like what they like. They can't explain what they like about what they like. They really can't. They really can't. That's why they have to jump to that easy deflection garbage. Because again, I'm engaging with these people who are like, I like stories and characters, and I'm explaining to them that Roman Reigns isn't even the most well-rounded or interesting character in WWE television right now. And I was breaking it down. Like I said, if you want to make it a writing and character and story thing, let's fucking play that game. But they can't fucking do it, dude. They don't know why they like the shit that they like. And then you know what the other easy fallback is? Numbers and metrics. And guess what? I don't work for WWE, so WWE's business has nothing to do with my fan consumption or what I have to say about a product. And beyond that, at no point in my criticisms of Roman Reigns and the Bloodline storyline have I said it wasn't massively successful.
Yeah, he's not a drawer anymore, bro.
Yeah, like, if nothing else, Monty, it's the success that it's experiencing that's frustrating to me in the sense that I know that there's no incentive to adjust approach because what they're doing is objectively working and will continue to work. There's not going to be an insight to the storyline because there doesn't need to be. They can milk this cash cow until it fucking stops working, and it's not going to stop working. So my point is, these fuckers don't have legs to stand on. They really don't.
They don't even. I was listening, like I said, I didn't watch all of it through, but I listened to like some of the main parts when he was talking about like the whole Roman debate. It's just like, bro, I'm listening to it, yeah, and I'm not even on that side of the fence, but I'm feeling like, bro, I could have a better discussion argument against what Ibu's saying than these people, and it's not even how I really feel. Like I could grift my way through having a better argument with Ibu about this subject than these people. AO could, do you know what I mean? Like yes. you and AO going back and forth on spaces always is like it's good shit, do you know what I mean? But or it's just hilarious, but. Yeah, like I said, bro, I'm listening to these thinking like, bro, I can make better points for this argument, and I'm not even like on that side of the argument, you know. But
we gotta continue the super chats, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, you know. All right, let's blast through some of these blue ones and just a chill guy. Meet Gonzalez again, 199. Ibu times
thing.
What you say, bro?
Did you finish the ones from the previous video?
I believe that was the last one.
I want to make sure we didn't miss anybody.
WWE Stuns being that was the last one. Just chill guy, Meatwad Gonzalez 199. Ibu X Hawk Tour crypto scheme link up next. Shake my fucking head. Bro, we're sorry about the technical difficulties. Again, lawyers will be contacted from Trixie. Please don't, bro. You know. Anjam PN $2. WrestlePure Taz says WrestlePurists running a sloppy shop unlike us. # nasty. Come on, bro.
Nigga, it's StreamYard, man. StreamYard ran a sloppy shop, you know.
Yeah, man, they're fucked on us, bro. Sean 199, 4.5 from Uncle Dave for the Dynamite 6, man. Yeah, that was crazy. That was fucking insane, bro.
I didn't really get that.
That wasn't even a good match. Never mind 4.5 stars.
Last Death Rider talks were just there. Like they were literally just there.
It literally wasn't good. Like it wasn't bad. I'm not saying that. I know people think I like to fucking shit on stuff, but like it wasn't bad. It was just there. Like it was just which I guess can be interpreted as bad considering the level of talent involved. But anyway, chill guy Meatwad Gonzalez 199 again. CM Punk's last match got 4.25 stars. Jay White's last match got a 4.5. All I got to say these agendas # the real best in the world.
That's what's up, bro. That's what's up, bro.
Sparrow 499. Never expected Roman to be compared to Hitler. Anyways, favorite matches over the weekend.
For me, I would say Kenta Kobashi versus Kenta. I would say Magnum TA versus Tully Blanchard. I would say the Russians versus the Rock and Roll Express in a steel cage. I would say Akira Taue versus Naomichi Marufuji. And DG versus Shelton was also pretty good.
Fairs, you know. Bruno Sammartino versus Larry Zbyszko. What else have I watched that was good this weekend? I watched Roddy Piper's WWF debut. That was a good time. I watched Hogan pre-Hulkamania, pre-fully signing with WWF. That was weird. It's so weird seeing like Hogan with a full head of hair, healing it up in Madison Square Garden. Like, it's so weird, bro. I watched a little bit of Andre. I've been watching a lot of 70s and 80s wrestling, if you can't tell. But like, I haven't been coming across, like, obviously I know it's on the network and they've cut a lot of stuff out, but I haven't came across anything that's like crazy, like, you know, like racist or like just fucking disgusting. But yo, I came across something this past weekend, yeah. And but I can't actually remember exactly who it was, so I'm not gonna botch it. But like, bro, they were cutting this promo on Bobo Brazil, and it was fucking crazy, bro. It was crazy. Anyway, but actually from this weekend, I did catch Nigel versus Lee Moriarty, and
how was that? Talk about that. Tell me about
it. It's cool, isn't it, bro? Like, I'm not fully watching a Final Battle, but like I'm keeping an eye on the timeline, see what's going on, see when Athena comes out, because I was planning on watching that. And you know, I'm seeing our guys at Fortune 4 kind of talking about like, well, they weren't even scooping it or nothing, but they're thinking like the only person that really makes sense for Lee Moriarty's secret mystery challenger would be Nigel. And I'm like, don't sound me a dream, bro. So I've kind of pushed it to the back of my mind. You get me? And damn, bro, it was Nigel. It was Nigel, bro. He strolls out there, he cuts a promo, he calls fucking Shane Taylor a pussy. He's fucking. He's just doing his thing. Then obviously he calls out Moriarty. He wants to do the, you know, the old school pure rules match for the title, and they do it. And I thought Nigel was going to win, bro. I thought Nigel was going to bring the belt home for Christmas, and you know they had a really good match, man. Nigel was up to his old tricks, you know, making Lee use up all these rope breaks very early in the match. Lee does his thing to get back in the match. They told quite a good story in that sense. And yeah, they have a good match, man. I really, really liked it. I was quite, you know, I was happy to see it was in our top 5 matches of the week from last week when Jamie tweeted the ratings earlier. So, yeah, man. Then obviously you got the scene at the end with Nigel walking off with the ROH flag and he's holding it up, and it's just, I don't know, bro. It's heartwarming, you know.
I'm gonna check that out. I did. This is what I caught from ROH. I watched a bit of Mansoor and Ali, and not Ali. It was, God forbid, it was Mansoor and Atlantis Jr. And I was just like, this is just not what I want to see Atlantis Jr. do. And then Danhausen helped him with the assist, and he got the win. So that was the thing that happened on that show. QT Marshall was dressed as NWO Randy Savage to face Jay Lethal, who was Black Machismo. And they had like an epic, which is just really funny, and like it's kind of good, but also kind of shitty at the same time. It's really weird, because like, you're like watching, and you're like, I'm watching like QT and Jay Lethal just do sequences and kickouts, and like on some level, that's like inherently not good. Like, you just conceptually, you know what I mean? Like, because it feels almost like it feels like intentionally meant to be like preposterous, if that makes any sense. But it's also like heated and good. So like I just gave it a 3 and kept it pushing. I was like, all right, you know, I guess that's all right. I watched Jericho's match, which was an embarrassment. It actually started out. I'll blow your mind, Amati. It started out good. Matt Cardona
Cardona's not like a bad work. He knows what he's doing, you know.
Right, and the match started with him taking control and like taking the fight to Chris Jericho, right? So it starts out fine enough. The problem is midway it switches to Jericho assuming control. And that's nowhere near as good.
It's never good. It's never good anymore.
He also looks really bad. He's wearing like an I Love New York tank top, and he's like his guts busting through the tank top and everything. And he just looks really embarrassing. And his work looks like dog shit. And then like you got a bunch of interferences from the learning tree, and then you get this really limp, shitty finish. And it was like a match that was honestly trending towards being pretty good ends up kind of being like a little crap. So that's I don't know why I'm doing star ratings talk, but I went 2.75 on that. And then you got that really shitty Bandito. You get the really shitty Bandito post-match thing where first of all, like on a conceptual level, why is Bandito coming back in ROH after all those vignettes? And why is he feuding with Chris Jericho? Why did you make this decision, Tony? But that's what they chose to do. And unfortunately, he concusses himself on the missile dropkick, which is honestly tragic because
legitimately tragic.
It's really tragic, dude. Like, he is snake bitten. And I think he's one of the best wrestlers in the world, to be honest with you. And for this to be what's going on with him over the last year and a half really fucking sucks. Bandito's pretty much been inactive since like last spring. So we're almost coming up on 2 years in a couple months, which really sucks. So I hope everything's okay with Bandito. I hope when he's healed that we just pretend this never happened and we just like literally don't do this. So hopefully. But that was that. Athena versus Billy Starks. Not as good as last year. I love Athena. I think she's one of the best women's wrestlers in the world. Her matches are still very strong. She hits hard as fuck, and that's awesome. You know, she lays her shit in, which is nice to see. I just think on some level, like, I can't get into Billy Starks. I don't think she's very good. I think her stuff is like kind of sloppy and clumsy and awkward. And I wanted Athena to lose, not because I give a fuck about Billy or her winning the belt. I wanted Athena to lose so I could see her on Dynamite. Like, that's why I wanted. It shouldn't
even be that way, though. Like, that's kind of what we've talked ourselves
into
as fans, isn't it? Oh, she'll drop the belt, then she'll come up to Dynamite. It's like, why do we even think that? Because like every other champion, literally every other champion Ring of Honor has appeared on AEW TV.
I'm gonna presume that like this is how she wants it. Surely it has to be something like that.
I don't know, bro.
She's really.
We have to. I think Joe asked her in his interview with her, which was like a year ago. He was like, you know, he's like, she's open, she's game, she wants to be on these shows, bro. Like,
well, either way, I mean, we could talk about that till the cows come home. All I know is that it was a good match, not a great one, and her retaining was a bit curious. It's like, why? What are we holding this off for? And now I'm becoming of the belief, Monty, that she should just relinquish it and go to AEW when the time comes to build to her and Mercedes. Because at this point, if All In's going to be in Dallas in 7 months, why even give her a loss on her record? Why don't we just keep this rolling? Why don't we just have Athena continue to just not eat pins, and then we just build that to be a super match? Like, who cares about Billy? Not no offense, but like,
no, but for real though, bro. Like last year, the Final Battle,
you're not gonna pull the trigger.
People cared a lot more about Billy because of the story that they were telling, and it felt like kind of it was almost like their WrestleMania 39. Like, it almost felt like it was coming to like a natural conclusion, you know, where like Billy wins the belt, and it's like she's got a good enough amount of momentum to be able to beat someone like Athena, and it actually gets a pop, and it feels like a productive piece of business. Athena gets to put Billy over, and it'll feel like that was the biggest it would have felt at that time. Whereas this year, it more was like, you know, over the past couple of months, I haven't seen people like in a couple of months leading to last year's Final Battle. I've seen people like, oh, Billy Starks this and Athena, and they're doing the segments with what's her name, Lexi there, or whoever it was, like the other person that was involved in that storyline. You know, they're doing all these different things, you know, and I'm seeing them clipped and I'm seeing them on the timeline, even though I don't watch ROH Weekly. This year, there was none of that, you know. There was no like, you know, look at this segment where, you know, Athena says this underhand comment to Billy, or Billy does this angle, or whatever it was. It was just kind of like, I don't even, obviously as an outsider, not expected to know everything, but I had no idea of kind of like what the story is going into this one. Whereas like last year, watching it just as much as I did this year, I kind of had like an idea because there was momentum there. People were talking about it. People were anticipating Billy winning the belt, and she obviously never. And it just felt like there was no anticipation this year, really, other than the reason that EB just said, where it's like, oh yeah, I'd like to see Athena on Dynamite. It weren't a thing where, oh, I want to see Billy win the belt and take the belt off Athena. Like, I weren't getting that impression. So
yes, the bottom line is it just diminishing returns here. Back, this match was not as good as last year's. It was a good match. It was a good wrestling match. It's just that, like, I don't particularly care for Billy Starks, and I think that whole thing lost steam in general, and it wasn't as it didn't seem like people were as interested this year as last year when it came to that aspect of it. And Athena retains, so she retains. The big talking point of this show, Monty, was the survival of the fittest match. If I'm trying to go, I'm gonna try to go off the top of my head here. It was Blake Christian, Commander, Willie Mack, AR
Vanilla
Fox.
Baby.
Yeah. Blake Christian, Commander, AR Fox, Willie Mack, Mark Davis, and Ryan Cage. That's 6 men. I think that's it. So this thing starts off and it's basically just like your normal like multi-person scramble match, and they're all kind of just doing stuff, right? And they're eliminating people. And Willie Mack got to shine. AR Fox got to do his stuff. Willie Mack and Mark Davis really stood out to me, Monty. Mack is just one of those charismatic guys that can get himself over no matter what he does. So I was happy for him that he could just do that. Mark Davis looked really good here. I thought this was the best Mark Davis has looked since coming back. He's really finding himself. I think the tags with Will Hobbs on Rampage have really helped him out a bit and kind of just finding his way again. And I'm watching this match and I'm like, I get why like an AEW on the main AEW proper wouldn't really push a guy like Mark Davis at this stage of the game. But I watch it and I see like, I'm like, this is a guy with ability. This guy who has like, a lot of talent. This is a guy who
he's good, man.
I was gonna say for a lot of
I don't know why I went so high pitched there, but I remember vividly. Like Mark Davis was the better half of Aussie Open up until
that's what I was gonna say. Like for a lot of their existence, he was the better wrestler. And I watched him, and all I could think is like, I feel like he should like have a side gig, like holding like a Japanese promotions championship or some shit. Honestly, like,
it would be awesome that hot shit. You know?
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, man, go wrestle Kento Miyahara or some shit on the side, like on the weekends or something.
Go wrestle Davey Boy.
Go wrestle Davey Boy. But he looked good. Brian Cage was pretty good as well. This comes down to Blake Christian and Commander because Davis pinned Brian Cage, and the crowd pops because it's like, oh, this means we're gonna have a new television champion. Holy shit! And so they're coming alive for this now, and they're getting into Mark Davis. And right at that point, Vanilla Baby beats him. And the fans are like, oh, get the fuck out of here. But honestly, it was actually pretty smart from a layout perspective, Monty, because Blake Christian got to be Roman Reigns. You know how in the 2017, 2018, and 2020, listen, in the 2017, 2018,
he's just aggressive, you know,
and 2020 Royal Rumbles, they did the thing of teasing the thing you don't want to make the thing you do want pop more. Because Roman was in the last two with somebody else. They did that a lot with Roman. It was like, oh, fuck, Roman's going to win. Then, like, Nakamura eliminates him, and you're like, yeah, you know, or like, oh, fuck, Roman's going to win. And then Drew Claymore's him, and you're like, yeah, you know, so
they did it with Charlotte. They did it with Charlotte one year as well.
Yeah. They do that troll thing a lot. And so here, it's like, oh, fuck, is Blake Christian going to win the fucking TV title? But the truth is, Tony Khan, he would have to be on, like, loads of fucking meth to have Blake Christian beat a guy who's in his C2 tournament on his national shows. So that didn't happen. The crowd got really behind Commander. And honestly, it was very charming. It was very charming to see Commander like rally the crowd like that and get the win. So I thought by the end of this got really dramatic and honestly turned into like a very good match. So Commander is the TV champion. And I'll tell you what, his reaction to winning sold it even more because he was like legitimately moved by this and emotional over it. And it was like, look, man, I mean, yeah. And it's like, you know, it's easy to just be like, it's the ROH TV belt. Who gives a fuck, right? But like, it mattered to him. And as a viewer, you're like, well, if it matters this much to you, then it matters. You know, so like all you could do is tip your hat to him. So I'm happy for Commander for getting this. It was a great moment, and it was the best match of the show that I've seen. Yeah, that was Final Battle. Collision was a fun show, Monty. Up and down. I don't know how much of Collision you saw, but I don't know how much of Collision you saw.
Listen, bro, I've been watching this month. So when it comes to like actually like current wrestling, like I've been washed this month, bro. Washed.
I hear. So I'll tell you all about it. So basically, we open up with Ospreay and Ricochet, and a lot of people said this was better than their first one. I actually thought the first one was like comfortably better. But what's memorable about this one is that the fans hate Ricochet and Hammerstein. They just really hate this guy. And Ricochet's doing this new gimmick where he's going, and he's doing all that shit. And I got to be honest, I don't want to like it, but it does pop me, and it's making me mad. I don't know. He just the way his bald head just kind of like cocks forward. He just
listen, bro. Like I watched the angle on Wednesday, and I've watched like parts of his matches and stuff. I haven't been locked into AEW or any like just said like any TV the past like month, but I see that I'll catch the big things. And what I will say about the Ricochet stuff, it's bold, bro.
Yeah, it is.
Know, like it's very bold to have him get like bitch like that by the Hurt Syndicate and just the way he's acting and stuff backstage. Like it's bold, but Ricochet, unfortunately or fortunately, is very good at playing this role of like the cringy guy with no self-awareness that's super arrogant. Like, he's very good at playing that, and it's getting heat. And if it continues working and AEW continue to follow through with it, I think it can be, it can be good. But like, is Ricochet as a heel getting loads of like Dom Mysterio heat? What I envisioned for Ricochet when he was going to AEW? No, but can it be something that'll work? I think it can, but
so that's the thing.
It has to work. Like, they have to follow through with it properly. Like I said, it's very bold, and if they fuck it up, Ricochet's. I genuinely think on the flip side, if they fuck it up, Ricochet's fucked. Like, he's fucked.
Yes. So you know the thing though, because time and time again, wrestling, like, Ricochet's problem is that he wasn't believable. You know, he would talk and be like, "Hey, homie, don't play with me, homie. I'll get you back." And it's like, you're like a light skinned dude who like sounds like you're always about to cry. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And here, he could just kind of be like a cringy, douchey guy, and like, I know who Trevor Man is, like the man behind the thing, but it does feel more at home, you know. And I'm watching him do it, and he's like, "I'll see you next time, big dog." And I'm like, "All right, bro." But he got great heat in Hammerstein. And he was just being a total like dipshit facing Ospreay. And so it's fascinating. Like, again, action-wise, not as good as the first one, but a lot of people seem to like this a lot more. I think that tells you something about wrestling, because I thought the first one was like a 4-star match and this is like a 3.5. But like, this one seemed to resonate with people more. And I think it's because of the character work, you know. So there you go. Ibu confirmed it likes character work, you know, to the Bloodline fans that think that I don't value these things. Ricochet was being a fucking character here, and it led to a match that people were received very well. Ricochet cheated, Monty. He cheated. He took advantage of some referee mishap, and he got the win. So Ricochet beats Will Ospreay. And he continues in the Continental Classic. There's a lot of sports entertainment on this show for some reason, Monty, because I guess Tony Khan decided that Hammerstein Ballroom needs sports entertainment. A lot of Costco guys stuff.
Place to do it.
Right? There was Costco guy stuff with Chris Jericho, and Anthony Bowens came in to back up the Costco guys. So that's a thing that happened. Tony Storm got into a confrontation with Deonna Purrazzo, and she's still continuing her amnesia gimmick. She's forgotten, Monty, who she is. She totally has forgotten that she's already an AEW wrestler. So that's another thing that's happening.
I watched one of her interviews with RJ City, and it was like, I mean, like, I don't think it's very good. You know, it's a bit too
silly.
It's a bit much, ain't it? You know?
You know what's the thing about it, though, Monty? I agree with you, and it's not my thing at all. But the sad reality of modern wrestling is everybody memes their way to the top, and Tony Storm is good at that kind of thing, and she's gonna get this shit over. You know what I mean? Like, we're gonna turn around 2 months from now, and people are gonna be making their fucking meme chants like I don't know, like "please remember," or some fucking marquee meme ass chant. So it'll get over. There was another one. MJF and Adam Cole. They had like a 90 minute segment where they were just kind of talking, and they traded some jokes. MJF said something along the lines of like, "It seems like you haven't visited your dentist in a while," and it's like,
we need to get Max out of this fucking feud, bro.
Yeah,
he's starting to lean on his bad fucking quirks and shit again. Like, come on, fam. Max has been good this year when he's been around since like what? You can put it up, bro. He ain't even wrestled that much this year, so it's not hard to pull up. But like when he first came back and he had like the Triple H fucking leather fucking denim and shit on, he cut a good promo, his first promo back, and he fucking he stamped on the devil mask, and you're thinking, you know what? Fuck the Adam Cole feud, you know what I mean?
And it's like, no,
and then he goes into, a match with Rouge, which was good. He has a Hechicero match on Forbidden Door, which is whatever, but it's MJF versus Hechicero. It's kind of, you get what you get. He has a match with Ospreay that goes an hour, which is divisive. I didn't really like it myself. But I wouldn't be like, it's a bad match. Like, if anything, you'd say it was a good match that I didn't like, you know, because the general consensus is. But look here on Cage Match, he got an 8.4, you know. He got like fucking 5.5 stars off Dave, you know. So, like,
nevertheless, Monty, these guys are going back and forth trading barbs. And the big reveal at MJF was like, I admit it. I was going to turn on you. And it's like, oh, shit. So he basically admits that he was going to get Cole before Cole got him. And he basically said that, like, when he got injured at Arthur Ashe, that was a sign of weakness. He admitted that, like, he liked Cole as a friend and he got close to him, but that, like, that type of, like, emotional bond holds you back. And so he basically said, like, I had to cut you off and I had to get rid of that. And you're a liability as an injured man. So he admitted it. And he basically declared that at World's End, he puts an end to all of this stuff. The Undisputed Kingdom guys come out and they're kind of talking to Cole. I really suspect, Monty, that they're going to turn on Cole, which sounds awful, but I think it's possible. But if that does happen, it means that this probably continues, or at least will spin off into a Cole versus Taven and Bennett thing, which sounds terribly uninteresting. So that's all the mid stuff out of the way for Collision. The rest of the show, Monty, hour 2, it's just great wrestling. Shelton Benjamin and DG just played music. Oh, it's really nice. It was just a really nice match. Great submission trading at the end. Just some good fire, good intensity. Really, another really well done Shelton Benjamin match. He is like my favorite AEW wrestler of the last like month, which is hysterical.
Yeah, that's what's been making me laugh. But I think I brought it up to you on one of the other pods that we did. It's like you kind of use him as a dunk. Like he's not your favorite wrestler at the moment. Like you'll be like, you know what? Shelton Benjamin's better than Jay White at the moment. And it's like, well, yeah, you think Shelton's better than everyone at the moment. That's not a dunk, bro.
Right, absolutely, exactly. So he's been doing great. That match was fun. Mark Briscoe and Mortos. What can you say, man? It's just two really good wrestlers working hard. Mortos goes on a winless in the C2, which is unfortunate. It's a bit tough. You know, you'd like to see a little bit more for him, at least coming out of the tournament. But he does go winless. And then in the main event, it was another Darby Allin versus Claudio match. This was not as good as the one they had on Dynamite a couple weeks before this. But Darby took some sick bumps. He jumps off the stage. Claudio kind of just strong arms him around the place. And he beats Darby Allin. Claudio gets the win. So that's a win in the column for the Death Riders. And overall, I thought it was a really fun show.
And Claudio beat Darby again.
Yeah.
Swear down.
Yeah.
Swear down. That's what they're doing over there.
Listen, Monty. We're in it for the long haul, man. This is a marathon, not a sprint. We are in the second inning. This is a second inning.
It's not the end of the world or anything. It's just one of them things that I just see and think, okay.
Yeah, no, like I said, listen, this storyline is not ending anytime soon. So if I want folks to just look at that result and you do the math on when Darby's going to get back to Mox, because it's not anytime within the next few months. But that was Collision. I thought it was a good show. The wrestling on the show was lovely. A lot of the other stuff was not quite as lovely, but you know, what you get. So the Hammerstein
weekend, you lose some, you know?
Right. The Hammerstein weekend was a fun one for All Elite Wrestling and Tony Khan Promotions. And with that said, Monty, let's close this show out with the remainder of our super chats.
Starting with the $20 SMG, skipping the queue. Happy holidays, guys. Always appreciate the WrestlePurists content and the space, and that space helped me through my 12-hour shift Saturday. Lol. Hope you and the loved ones have a good holiday. Well, thank you, brother. Appreciate you very much. I hope you have a nice Christmas as well. Have a happy holidays and all that good stuff. Hope you all do out there. Van Jimine and $9.99. I'm late. Last time Ibu mentioned when the Death Rider story is going to end. Won't say it in case. Is there any chance TK feels online pressure and audibles, or does he feel like this has to work?
I think that's dependent on how things go with the all-in ticket sales. That's what I would say.
So I guess the answer is yes, no, because he asked, "Is there any chance?"
Yeah, I wouldn't say
there's always wrestling in it. So.
Yeah, and I would tell you this: like, if something catches fire in January, maybe pertaining to Kenny Omega, best believe they're going to pivot. So we'll see what happens, and hopefully something happens and something clicks. And if something clicks, then Tony will say, "Yeah, look, John, look, man, I love you, brother. Why don't we wrap this up and maybe Double or Nothing, my guy?" You know, and they go from there.
Which isn't $5. Punk versus Roman, maybe at Mania, and you versus Bloodline fans. 2025 is really going to be cooking. Is Raw on Netflix will have open time?
The word from WWE is there will be no strict set time that Raw has to end every week. So in theory, that would mean there's a week where you get a 240 Raw, and another week where this goes 230, another week where it goes 3 hours. We'll see in practice how they do that, though, because WWE is a very regimented promotion that does things a very set way, and that level of fluidity would be fascinating to see from WWE. So we'll see. We'll see how they do it. We'll see how they handle it.
You obviously because you spoke to people about it, but it's like Triple H's feeling on like doing a 3-hour show and having to try and book a 3-hour show. Having that fluidity is probably something you're thriving, to be honest.
He would love it. He would love it. There's the funny thing, Monty, is in the last few weeks, there have been 2-hour Raws where he felt like he couldn't do everything he wanted to do. And they shot pre-tapes that they just made Twitter exclusives because they couldn't fit it on the TV. Hilarious.
They do that a lot.
Yeah, there's like 20 minutes of pre-tapes that they just dump on Twitter now. It's really funny. Literally, like angles shot to set up matches the next week, and they're like, "Oh, I'll just put it on fucking Twitter," So, yeah.
And PM $5 looked at the all-in ticket sales. Mox is champ till then, huh? God bless Long. A real booker would run God versus God Part 5 for the World Championship.
We shall see.
I don't think anything. If you take anything right now, book it, I don't think anything's gonna like cause like a huge wave of massive ticket sales in AEW at the moment. To be honest,
we'll see.
I think if they bring back Kenny like January, obviously, like, or at the very end of December, at World's End or something like people expect.
I expect.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. We won't get into it, but after seeing the C2 spoilers, I think it might go a certain way with, yeah. But anyway, obviously, if you said, bro, if Kenny comes back and he catches fire, and then, I think it's, then if you can do like a big angle and a big storyline with him, and you really like do something bold with him, instead of it just being like, oh, Kenny's back and he's awesome, which will be, don't get me wrong, amazing. I love Kenny Omega and I'll be happy just to see him back. With AEW bringing back, and they're like, you know what, fuck it, he's our top babyface, top guy, our superstar, and we're going all in with him. Then I think maybe if that goes well and they drum up some momentum, then maybe that can be something that like actually translates to like actual company momentum. I think there's a better chance with him than there will be of where most people suspect the story is going with Darby, to be honest. I think the narrative and story of Kenny Omega coming back to save AEW is a lot more of like a money feud than Darby just doing it, So I guess we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Tony's got some decisions to make, bro. We need to get the company hot again, regardless of how we feel about whether we like the product or not. And it's like the company's not going to go under. They're just on $185 million deal, but they need momentum, man. Bod the Builder $2. Who is Nick Khan's favorite wrestler as well? Dwayne?
Oh, well, besides The Rock. Yes, it's
He does love some Bloodline, I can confirm that. When me and Hulbert were at Money in the Bank, he missed the whole show because we saw him at the start of the show when they were setting up and everything just before it started. Then he came out for the main event, Bloodline Civil War. He was there, front row, he was locked in. Just a chill guy, Meatwad Gonzalez, $1.99. Drop that baddie scoot to spite TK and Hook Beat. Bro, I'm telling you, it wouldn't be to spite TK or anything like that either, but just drop it, bro. I said it in the live chat earlier, but I'm saying it now. That scoop will never, ever, 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 1,000,000%, I can say with 1,000% certainty, that scoop is never seen the light of day. Like, it's not happening. Let it go. Forget anything you've thought about it all. It never happened. Men in Black. Fucking. Just forget about it.
Leave it alone, man. Leave it alone.
Legends back, $2.49. Ibu's thoughts on Zoya and the Iron Man match.
Yeah, I watched the ReV Pro match this morning, Monty.
I saw you tweet about Zoya. So
yeah, it was Zaya versus. I don't think he's very good. I don't think he's very good at all. It was Zaya versus Leon Slater. This young man, I believe, he's 20.
It's on an hour, don't they? Or something.
Well, so it was an Iron Man match that went an hour, and it was tied. Okay. So they went to overtime and went 10 more minutes. So it went 70 minutes. Leon Slater is very good.
Charlie in attendance, fucking ripping a shirt up.
Leon Slater is very good. He does his best here. 20 minutes in, he starts to get more aggressive towards Zaya. he appears to be the more established person within Revolution Pro. And so he starts to take a heel edge here, and he's getting physical with him. And he enters like a very respectable 20-minute control segment to bridge the middle third of this Iron Man match. And he's just kind of physically kicking him and drop kicking him and throwing him into the post and throwing him to the guardrails and stuff. And it's all solid, respectable stuff. And like, if you have the patience for it, you're watching it. And I'm like, all right, well, this is coming along nicely. If this kid's comeback is great, this will close out very well. You know what I mean? It's a lot of back and forth chain wrestling at the beginning. Then it's this control. And then we get to that like late stretch where Zazaya makes a comeback, and it kind of falls off the rails for two reasons. Because Slater basically goes heel midway. But then for the closing stretch, Zazaya like turns the tables. And then like, he turns the tables, which is his comeback, right? But like, number one, his comeback is really poor. His striking is like, it's like patty cake strikes, like genuinely. Like he does these like weird like patty cake palms. He does he's kind of patty cake like slaps. It's weird. His punches are very.
What happened to the game? I love kind of.
Yeah, he does these really soft punches. He does these really, really soft kicks.
Oh man,
here's the thing with young wrestlers. They're usually bad at most strikes, but they have like one strike that they can do well. Like whether it's okay, they have bad uppercuts, maybe they could do a good forearm, or maybe they can do a good elbow or whatever. All of this stuff is like the strikes, the elbows, the forearms, the kicks. They all look really bad, to be honest with you. And his stuff is really loose. So, and a couple moves like just like he's like trotting, like he's not doing it with intent. If that makes any sense. You know when a guy's like going for a move and like they're just not running with intent, they're not swinging their arm with intent, that type of thing. So, yeah, and a lot of like bad fighting spirit. And that's already one problem. The other bigger issue, Monty, is what's going on here? Sorry. The other issue, Monty, is that like he also turns heel in this like last 20 minutes of this regulation time. And they make Leon Slater the sympathetic guy when he was making Zazaya the sympathetic guy midway. So now it's like the psychology is completely out of whack and they're just doing things. And then it ends in a tie, and I'm like, fuck me. And then, like, I believe it's Andy Q. Quilden who shows up, and he's just like, we're going to sudden death. And they do more stuff for 10 minutes. And then the Terry's like, this is the best match I've ever called. This has to be the greatest match I've ever called. And I'm like, I don't know, like 3 1/4, I guess. I don't know. But Zazaya has a lot of work to be done. He clearly is very young. Like he just feels like the UK version of Starboy Charlie to me, but it feels almost premature to judge him, to be completely honest. But yeah, I think Leon is quite solid.
No, not really, bro. If the fucking Booker's putting him out there in a fucking 60-minute match against Leon Slater, like, yeah, granted, it's not on TV or anything. Fucking hell, God forbid. But like, bro, it's not like in as far as the UK scene goes, going getting a 60-minute match with Leon Slater at the end of 2024, like that's not no big deal, you know. So
yeah, apparently, like
we can judge young wrestlers if they're being put in these spots. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, we need to fly through these super chats.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Damn, $4.99. Some niggas got to dive for the shit to get better. TNA, I'm sorry, but it comes with WWE for. All right, bro, chill out.
That's insane.
Corey David, $2. Buying big amounts of NXT Lania Reed stuff.
I hear you.
Not a bad investment, bro. Not a bad investment. Mars, $4.99. How long do you think Triple H gives Lara and EO next week if EO wins tonight? Wink, wink.
There's a Raw next week?
Oh, it might be a best of. I'm not 100% sure though. Cameron M.
There has to be because they got to do because the IC finals have to be on the 6th. So I guess there's a live Raw next week, which is weird.
Cameron M, $5. They're not just freaks who don't know ball; it's freaks who think they know ball better than everyone else. Yeah, that's the thing as well. Like they try to talk down on like the marks and the flippy flip and the AEW New Japan fan. Like,
yeah,
right, bro. You know, Dre, $4.99. Pre-knee injury circa 2015. Seth Rollins, deadass was the franchise player at a point. Disagree. People either too young or just forget the dog that he was, man.
I honestly, Monty, I do think 2015 he was one of the best American wrestlers there were.
Yeah, he was, but he was never a franchise. He was never the franchise player in WWE. He's never been that.
He was the closest to feeling like that, I thought.
Listen to that Cena.
I
Listen to that Cena these times.
When he was working with John Cena, he was terrific.
It felt like he was on his. What I will give him, yeah, it felt like he could have been on his way to that point, of being a franchise player. But Seth has never been a franchise player in WWE, bro. It's never been. It's never. like, anyway, Link $5. Need Lee.
Lee J. That's
Lee
Lee
J.
Johnson and EJ.
Yeah, I was gonna say Lee Johnson, but who's the first Lee?
I don't know.
Dragon? No, it can't be Dragon Lee. Can it? Anyway, need Keith Lee? No, it can't be. Need Lee Johnson, Billington, Billy, Layla, and Aminata to be the face of ROH. Who's Lee, bro? Am I just fucking stupid?
I think he's just talking about both Lee as a singles and in the tag team. That's what I'm assuming.
Lee. No, but wouldn't you put Leech? Anyway, fuck. Trust.
To answer you, man. Like I agree with all this in theory, but like you're not gonna get me to do what ROH and On Honor Club needs to do to improve talks in late 2024, man. Like it's kind of
with 2 minutes overtime,
yeah.
Broadway Joe $2. Seth in his prime was averaging 16, 4 and 2.7 steals.
I think 2015 Seth Rollins is averaging 25 a game.
He was very good, bro. He was very good. Like, I can have the convo about Seth when we're going that far back, The final boss 199. Seth Rollins versus opponent of Rock's choosing.
That'd be funny. I'll give you guys this. My official. I feel like those like pollsters from the election. My official projection and prediction for Seth Rollins at Mania is Gunther. That's
not a bad prediction at all, brother.
That's
not at all. Yeah, I won't say I've got the same prediction because I haven't really looked at the landscape, but it sounds realistic to me considering some of the other things that might be in play. Ish 499. I don't know. I feel TK does not rate Bandito high as he should. I could be wrong though. I guess it's questionable how much of him he's seen. I think that is in question.
I don't really know, man. Monty, the guy was talking about Lee Moriarty.
Yeah, I seen the chat Lee Moriarty, but like, it's because he put Lee twice. He put Lee, then Lee J. So I was like, who's the first Lee then? Because second Lee J is obviously Lee Johnson. Anyway, Ibu, when can we expect an apology? # for the Commandos.
I won't be doing that, but what I'll say is that Commander has absolutely improved over the last year and gotten more comfortable on TV, and he works his butt off in every performance. He's one of those guys that you tell him you're going 8 minutes and you're doing a job on like a Rampage. He's gonna like work his butt off for that. In a way that some like more veteran wrestlers would be like, charming. Yeah, it is charming because like there's guys Monty like, fuck that. I'm not about to do all my best shit on Rampage in 8 minutes in a loss. And he's just kind of like, all right, let's do it. You know what I mean? He's very game to just do his best.
He realizes the opportunity he has of being in a national promotion. Do you know what I mean?
And I respect that. I really do respect that. Yeah, I really do respect that. So Commander's had a good year. He's had a good year. He's a really nice wrestler. He's a really nice luchador. So that's what you're getting out of me.
Monty, link £5. Monty, tell someone to use Gigs talking to Hardys for the entrance in the UK. Needs Swerve to use England's anthem at Forbidden Door. Gigs talking Hardys. I don't know. I feel like there's better options than that, but that is an anthem. Broadway Joe Rico is the perfect example of Triple H versus Tony's booking. TK strikes out a lot, but at least the motherfucker is swinging. Triple H just takes Walt's comfort zone. Bro, Tony Khan's that's not Tony Khan, bro. No, I'm sorry, but he's not. Tony's not this like bold booker that takes these brave swings and shit. Like I've put over the Ricochet thing of being super bold because it's not AEW like, but I guess in terms of Ricochet's booking, you could say. Dre 199. MJF and Swerve is the money feud, man. I think there's a weird lack of talk about MJF going into 2024, considering the star that he is, And
it's all
once he's free of these, once he's free of the Cole shackles, if he returns to the form that we were seeing in the summer from him in ring and even the promos, then I think he could have a huge, important year in AEW. So hopefully it works out for him. Kale of Kale, 50 pesos. All this time I had my Mexican hate radar beeping on Ibu when it was really all the TK particles that I was detecting. Thin Ice Hermano. Come on, man. NXT, agreed. Trixie 199 predictions of
agree.
Cody's Mania match.
I can't answer that question.
Fair. I can make a prediction. Because I don't know. Me and you haven't spoke about behind the scenes where it would be like, here's my prediction. Wink.
You know what? You know what? I'll give you guys a big one. Cody's Mania match is not Randy Orton as of right now. I'll tell you that. You can have fun with that one.
The final boss 199. Rock / Cody, Roman / Punk, Seth on commentary. Come on, man. Rob. 499. Roman Reigns, good. He is on medication. Also, I'm live on Twitch when y'all are done here for more WrestlePurists content. Yeah, man.
Hell
Rob
yeah.
live on Twitch doing, I think, a Raw watch along. So, yeah, man, make sure you hit that up because we are finishing this up right now. Ibu, take us home.
All right. Well, I don't know what to do tomorrow, Monty, because my job called me and they need me. They need me at 1:30 p.m. and I get off at 7. So I don't know.
Up to you, bro. Like, if you get home from work and you want to do a show with Rob or whoever, then you can do one. Like, I'm not going to tell you can't do a show.
Right.
So just let me know and just keep me up to date throughout the day.
So we'll keep it up in the air. We'll see what happens. Either I do a Raw review at night, or I say fuck it, or I do some unrelated stream on Wednesday afternoon. We'll fucking see. We shall see on that one. Maybe I just do a WrestlePurists stream with the guys on Wednesday. Maybe I round up, I don't know, Rob and
Wait, what will be Wednesday? Will it?
I don't
Christmas Day.
Christmas
Day, Wednesday.
Yeah, I have no clue. So we'll see. We'll see what we end up doing. But I'll keep you guys posted on that. The Discord is dropping at some point this week. We're in the closing stretches now, so you can tune into that. I'm going to tune into Sami Zayn and Drew McIntyre tonight. They're having a match tonight that's 3 segments, and I'm always locked in on Sami Zayn and Drew McIntyre wrestling for 3 segments. So for Monty, I am Ibu WrestlePurists, and I'll see you guys next time.
Peace.